Hi everyone, I'm Melissa Steinour. Thank you for following my ministry. Today I wanted to share a story with you that comes out of Genesis chapter 19. It's about Lot, his wife Sarah, and their two daughters. They lived in the city of Sodom. The city of Sodom, we know from the Bible, was actually a very evil city. And because of the evil that was in the city, it was about to be destroyed. But Abraham prayed to God for his nephew Lot, and God decided to spare his life. As a side note to this, when you pray, things happen. So back to the story. God sent two angels to rescue Lot and his family. They told him to flee to the mountains and not look back. But as the story goes, Lot's wife looked behind her and she was turned into a pillar of salt. So I want to ask you today, do you feel like you spend more time looking behind you than you do in front of you? You know, I understand that. Sometimes our life, things happen and we wish we could go back and do things right. You know, maybe we've made mistakes and we wish we could just have a complete do-over. Years ago, I had this burning pain that was deep inside of me, and I struggled for a lot of years. I was diagnosed with an incurable bladder disease. And back then I thought that no one saw me or heard me or even cared what I was going through. But I remember standing in front of my church and I gave my testimony and I said, you know what? The doctors may not have a way for me, but God does. And my God is going to see me through that. I think some people thought I was probably crazy because they knew how bad this disease really was and how painful it was. But you know what? My God made a way. I stand before you today as a witness that God made a way. And it reminds me of a verse in Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19, where God says, "For I am about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it? I will make a pathway through the wilderness, and I will create rivers in the dry wasteland." Do you feel like you're in a wasteland right now? Do you feel like you're going through something that no one sees and no one understands? I want to tell you today that God does, and He sees you, and He understands what you're going through. And not only that, but He has good for you. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and to give you a hope." Are you feeling hopeless right now? The Lord has a future for you. But the next part of that verse is something we don't always hear about. And this is what it says: "If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. I will be found by you, says the Lord." When you are going through a rough time, look to the Lord. Do not look behind you. Don't look at your past. Don't look at your failures and your mistakes or even your fears. But look to God, because He has good planned for you. He has a destiny for you. Look ahead to Him and trust Him to bring it to pass. So if this video has touched you in any way, like always, I'm going to ask you to hit the share button and share it with your friends and your family and help spread the love of Jesus and the word of Jesus to everyone around us. And I'll bring another message next week. Thank you.